and welcome to my inquiry presentation. So let me tell you a little bit about me, then we'll get into the presentation. My name is Mark Smith. I worked at FedEx for 20 years, instructional designer, and presently I work in the process development and controls department. And I design lessons and teaching sessions for Magic Egg Tech as my things, and it's sparked my inquiry. When I was working on the floor as a technician, I would experience these different kind of things when I was taking courses. Like the courses, it'd be hard to navigate the courses. The questions didn't really make too much sense, and the courses were. I really did learn a lot. And finally, after taking the courses, I received a survey, which was very limited in its scope, and for a better term, it was a joke. So that led me to doing a little research on my own, and in the classes. So when I got a chance, after my promotion to the training department, I use these problems as a catalyst to improve training and learning for students. You're wondering, well, my wondering is how can I improve learning for students and reduce their cognitive load at the same time? I collected my data is that I used a basic class as a pilot class, and then I sent out surveys to ask about different course, and after I got that feedback, then I designed another course, and I sent those surveys out again. So that's kind of like how I collected my data. Now, the literature, I did extensive literature review, and it came from items like peer-reviewed journals, books, online articles, and blogs. Some of the databases that I used was Eric, Google Scholar, Taylor Francis, and many others. And so, the things that my literature has brought me to understand was learning engagement, cognitive architecture, navigation affects learning and the cognitive load, and other things like that. So that leads me to my next. Not only did I get feedback from students, I have some colleagues that I know, a couple of doctors that I got some information from as far as the courses and stuff and how they were set up. And so I sent them these surveys, had them to take the class also. I go about analyzing and interpreting my data. Well, as I mentioned before, I developed a learning evaluation form, and once the information was obtained from the students and colleagues, I used coding to break each issue or certain issues into groups. And things like navigation problems, I coded that as ENG. Checkpoint question problems, I coded that as CG. Graphics problems, I split that into modules 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I called it GP1, GP2, GP3, and so on. I looked at the data that I had obtained for each group. I found that most common problems that I had, I needed to assign them to a ranking. So that's what I did, so I can address them in the main course that I designed. Generate through your process of data analysis. Well, I definitely noticed that navigation and questions variety, difficulty, and extra information. Analyzing data change evolve as you inquire. Well, I wanted to make sure that the data was truthful. So I followed the surveys with interviews, so I'm in the presence of process. Actions have you taken so far in response to your wondering? Well, one of of the main actions taken is providing navigational instructions as well as showing examples on how to navigate courses, because I think that's one of the main problems that I have is trying to navigate through the different courses and stuff, especially when it's something that's new and the navigation is not what I have been used to. And then there's another modules and course materials. A lot of courses, they don't really go into the different modules and stuff, and I feel that you really need to module so you can get see how is your action plan changed if Bob is implemented. Well, the main thing I do differently is go and actually observe the student while they're taking the course. Facial expressions and see if the students were stressed. And I think that's something that's really exciting. That tells me a lot of information about how the course, a lot of general stuff about the course. If I watch the expressions and then they look like they're very, very stressed, so I have to try to of this presentation where I'm going to show you some data. So just give me just one. First thing I want to show is my learner results form. And so with this form right here, this is the survey form that I have. And let's see here. So it kind of like asks questions such as, let's see, did you like the graphics? Did you feel like you learned something? Could you perform the procedures? Overall attitude about the course, any problems with the questions? And so this is what I had my learners to fill out here. And so we went through all these right here. Well, I went through these right here. And with each one of these different sections right here, I grabbed the information and then I compiled it and I just looked at it and I made sure what I needed to, like I mentioned before, what I needed to put in the different groups. So when I put the stuff in the different groups and then I coded it, then I can tell where my major problems lie. So, like what I did, now I did this with the pilot class also. And then the first round of improvements, then I put them in the next class. And so this is like the next class right here, and these are the second round of surveys. Now what I intend on doing after this right here is to actually interviewing these people to make sure, because I wanted the data to be very truthful. So I feel like if you engage a person and interview them, then you can really find out, if they're really telling you the truth and stuff. Okay, so that's what I've been doing as far as collecting my data and stuff right there. And let's pull this up here. Let's see what else I got here. So this right here, this is let's put that on the screen here. Just some of the different articles and stuff that I have exposed. So like this article right here, Cognitive Theory of Multimedia Learning, the Cambridge Handbook of Multimedia Learning. This article discusses the 3 demands on learners' cognitive capacity in a multimedia environment and suggestions on how to reduce them. So I went through a lot of these, and that's where I got a lot of interesting information and stuff from the different literature that I found. See, like this one right here, this is instructional design for advanced learners, and then establishing connections between the theoretical frameworks of cognitive load and deliberate practice. So I kind of went through, and I got a lot of different articles and stuff, so I use this right here to help me so I understand the stuff that I had, and I can actually put theoretical stuff to those problems. Okay. See, I have other stuff here. Let me see. Okay, and what I want to show now is, let's see here. Let's see if this is, okay, let me put this up here. When we do instructional design stuff, well, we have to kind of like make a blueprint of the class, and what we want to put, is it when it's an online class. So this is kind of like a blueprint. I'm going to show you some things on here that, so like these instructions right here, they're pretty limited in scope, and then they don't really tell you a whole lot of what to do. And then if you look at this right here, you can see how this text is just the same. It's laid out the same. And it really doesn't do that much for you as far as keeping you engaged. It's just reading a lot of text and stuff. And you see how they got these comical characters and all that stuff right there. So it's really, it needs to be more safety minded, since this course right here was a lockout tagout course. And then you see it's no really thought put in this. Like here when you have goals, see, it should be some objectives. So you can't just, just have a couple of goals here and there. I mean, what am I supposed to learn out of this class? What am I supposed to get? And so let me show you a modified version of that. And let's see. Just give me 1 second here. I get that up there for you. Let's see. So this one, let's see, put this up here. This one is a little bit different. Okay, you can see that you got the instructions on one side of the page. Now it's going to be some audio that go along with these instructions right here, instead of just having the student reading them off the text. Reading them off the paper. And different things, highlight some stuff and made the text more readable. And then this part right here is very important when you design a course. You have to have your different objectives. And so what I usually do with mine is I break them down into different modules, and then I give an assessment for each module. And then at the end, you get a checkpoint. So that way you will know what your objectives and your learning criteria things, and why you actually doing the course, so you can get an overall idea of what you should be expected, to learn in the course. So let's see what else we got here. So instead of just throwing stuff around, then these terms, these key terms and stuff right here. So when I took it and transferred it over, so it could be into an active program like Articulate, then it would have pop-up messages that would show these different key terms and stuff. And so it's a lot of things, that I did to improve this program here, based on the literature and based on the feedback that I got from the different students and stuff. And so it's like an ongoing process. So let's see with that. Okay, so some of the next steps that I have, like I said, I want to do some interviews. I want to interview students, and then I want to interview a lot of the my colleagues, like and stuff like that. I want to make sure, that I get as many pointers and stuff that I can about how to improve these courses and reduce the cognitive load of students. Because when you reduce the cognitive load, then they be more engaged as far as learning, and they can be more motivated. But when you have like boring text and the contrast don't look right, and you have to try to figure out how to navigate through the course, then it just don't really do too much. It don't do a student too good, you know. And that's the reason why I wanted to find out about how I can reduce the cognitive load. So with that being said, I'm going to end this presentation, and I appreciate you taking the time to look at this presentation and listen to it. Thank you. Have a good day.